엄청난 대구석.
무대만 때려도 그냥 경기가
결승까지 갈 수 있도록 최선을 다해보겠습니다.
제 재능을 세계에 알리고 싶어서 왔어요.
런던은 제가 다녀오도록 하겠습니다.
화이팅! 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 화이팅!
Welcome to Clash Royale Crown Championship Global Series Korea Day number 2. My name is G Clef and here we have Simon.
Hey,
as
how's
always,
it
it is our second day. We'll also have another 4 sets of matches, best of 5. I'm excited once more to greet our new players of round of 8.
Yeah, so all these players are new. They're not from day one at all. We have young and old. We have handsome and not so handsome. But overall today, it should be a good day. Like, I'm super excited. I couldn't sleep last night. Again, this is the second time I can't sleep because I'm going to be here casting for you guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. We have some new players. So I think they are going to come in very soon and we will get to see our overview. We'll go over the basics of what's happening in Korea as a tournament very soon. As you can see on the screen, we have the overview. Best of 5. If you win, you get 3 points. Tie, 1 point. Lose, 0 points. We'll have double round robin of Group A and also Group B. We had some matches of Group A in day 1. Now we're going to do Group B today.
Yeah, so Group B is going to be almost identical to Group A, but there's lesser known players this time in Group A. Just to remind you that there is a global ban. You get 1 ban per match, and you have 60 seconds to choose. So, like, this is your chance to throw your opponent off the game.
It is double blind ban as, we see a crossed off September 26th already. Now we're day 2. It is the first time we're gonna get to see some of the Group B contenders here. As on the right, we have some pretty cool series. Lots of 3-1s, 2 3-1s to be exact, and 2 3-2s. So
yeah.
No one-sided series at all.
No, I don't expect to see many one-sided matches today either. Like, I think the players are pretty well balanced.
Well, let's go in, and here goes the prize pool, and the coins will be dropping.
So yeah, first place will take 10 million won. That's about $10,000, give or take a couple bucks here and there. Second gets 5 million, 3 million, 2 million, with a total prize money of $30 million.
Yeah, we can already see as the players are seated and ready to jump into the action very soon. But we do have to take a look into the players very soon. But there is an event going on at the venue right now. If you are a fan of Clash Royale, if you want socks, Clash Royale socks.
The number 1 prize,
posters,
clearly.
Right?
Posters and figurines. Make sure you come down when we're recording.
Yeah, if you're around Korea anywhere, you can come check out OGN Stadium at the same time. And almost everyone who came last time did get the prize when they came here.
I got nothing.
Oh, I got nothing, but I'm sure these audience at the venue will get lots. I also see one of the staffs secretly sitting in the middle there. Maybe he wants some prize too.
I don't blame him. Like, I want some socks. Like, I actually really want the Clash socks. Like, I'm really annoyed that I came here. This is my second day here, and I'm not going to get any socks
Maybe we'll
whatsoever.
ask for some later on, Simon. And I think they are getting set up for match number 1. As some spoiler alert, there's a guy called Expo Master. Let's go take a look at today's matchup here. From left, Expo Master will be going against Zebra, match number 1. Ida versus Chashu, match number 2. And Expo Master playing once again versus Ido. And then Zebra versus Chashu. That's match number 4. We have a round-robin format, so they will be playing 2 times today.
Yeah, so every player will play against each other at least once today, pretty much. We actually like in day one, we had two massive YouTubers. Today,
That's right, Jun
not
and
so
Yungela.
yeah, but today not so many. I don't recognize any of them from YouTube at all.
Well, we will get to see some videos of the players right before, so you guys get to have some better information about them. See, that guy in green, he's one of the staff guys, and he is secretly sitting there, looking for that prize. Like, I want my socks, please. It seems like we are ready to jump in. Let's get to know about our players a little more here.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
저는 대형 석공 장인이라는 닉네임을 사용하고 있는 양명고등학교 1학년 1반 31번 황신웅입니다. 제 재능을 세계에 알리고 싶어서 왔어요. 대회는 처음 나왔습니다. 주님이랑 사진 한번 찍었어요.
제일 막내.
아 진짜요? 좋겠다. 어려서.
제가 어리다고 해서 실력이 낮은 건 아니기 때문에 실력으로 다 입증하면 될 것 같아요. 솔직히 8강 올라온 8명 중에서 저를 딱 이길 만한 사람이 없는 것 같아요. 제 플레이 스타일은 상대방을 흔들어 놓는 걸 중점에 두고 플레이해요. 대형 속공을 쓸 땐 최대한 졸렬하게 하려고 노력해요. 어리다고 보지 마세요. 형님들 다 이기고 올라가겠습니다. 파이팅!
좋으면 동영상을 지금 보고 있어요. 요즘 말이 엄청 느는 시기라서 말이 통하는 시기.
안녕하세요. 지브라라는 아이디를 사용하고 있는 전채환이라고 합니다. 가장 최연장자로 8강에 합류하게 됐는데 예선 때도 나이 때문인지 모르겠지만 몰수패 2번이나 당했거든요. 뱅카드를 까먹어가지고 그래서 힘들긴 한데 그래도 나이가 있어도 충분히 잘할 수 있다는 걸 좀 보여주고 싶습니다. 피지컬은 아무래도 조금 어린 친구들이 더 좋은 것 같고 심리전을 좀 많이 거는 편이거든요. 중앙 싸움 같은 경우에도 심리전을 좀 걸어서 패를 좀 말리게 하는 좀 스타일입니다. 성우야, 아빠가 꼭 우승할게. 파이팅!
There we have it. We have Expo Master in blue and Zebra on the other side in red. The youngest versus the oldest of the tournament. This is an exciting one for sure.
Yeah, I like how they mention like Expo Master's age, but they never quite talk about how old Zebra is. Like, I want to know the age difference.
Maybe he's too old. Maybe he wants to hide his. Wait, we saw a look at his son, and he seems quite young. So, and from what I can tell, as a Korean American person, around 30s, I would say, early 30s that he's in right now.
Yeah, but I find it funny that he's like, oh yeah, I had to forfeit twice already because I'm forgetful.
Does that ever happen to you, Simon? What? Well, we'll stop there and let's jump into Expo. He's not too high, still below 5,000, but as he is the Expo Master, what is he going to show us? And I do love using lots of Expo decks, and I have 2 of them out of the 5. And here we have Zebra, a lot higher compared when we just talk about the trophy, but does not matter too much once we go into the match, though.
Yeah, this is similar to Hemosu in the first day, who had a very low amount of trophies compared to all his opponents, and he didn't do very well on the first day. He dropped, I think, he dropped 2 games, right? So let's hope that Expo Master actually proves to live up to his name and actually prove that low trophies doesn't actually make much of a difference when it comes to tournament play.
So we'll see, as the lower trophies seem to win, but it was also a full series, very close series oftentimes. So we'll know, maybe we'll have our first very one-sided 3-0 series tonight as we jump into match number 1 very soon. But we'll see the ban card. Electro Wizard Expo is banned out. And Zebra says, no way you're going to get to be the master.
You know, I'm thinking that maybe his name is just like a little bit of a ploy to play with his opponents because he's unknown. Nobody really knows much about him. So maybe he called himself Expo Master just to bait out these bans. Maybe he's actually like the Royal Giant Master.
We will never get to know. Maybe he was actually... I'm pretty sure he had other decks prepared because this was expected, right? To be banned out from the very beginning. I think he has to show something else, but if he mastered Expo, when it's banned out, what else does it have? I think we can tell by what we have, and they will get 3 minutes after they saw the bans. A little bit more interested about what Expo Master is going to bring without the Expo. He's still a Master without the Expo, but what else is he Master on?
If he really likes the Expo, I can see him trying to use mortar or like other structures that can deal the damage across, but nothing is quite as effective as the Expo, right?
Because Expo, if you get it right next to the river there, and you can do direct damage to the towers, which is what I do all the time.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I was watching him play earlier.
I win oftentimes, and there are lots of counters like Hog Rider can just jump over the river and just do straight damage onto the Expo.
Let's hope that Zebra doesn't forget that he has to not put in Electro Wizard in his
or
decks.
his own ban. Maybe he will use his own ban. Who knows? I'm sure, Simon, you're around that age, right?
I can't believe you're bringing my age into this. Yes, I'm probably around the same age, and yes, you do start forgetting things. So maybe he will be forgetful, especially, you know, being a dad, it's tiring work. So maybe he will start forgetting things.
I know being a dad is not the easiest job in the world. Well, I have yet to know, of course, because I'm not even married. I don't have any kids. But
it's hard.
He had to forfeit twice, not once, twice, and he still made it to round of 8. I think that actually proves that he's
going to be a really good player.
He's like a really legit, like super great player. Even with those forfeits, he won and came up to round of 8, and there were tons of people who wanted to participate. We only have 8 out of, I believe,
20,000, 28,000.
I believe 5 million Korean people who participated.
I thought it was much lower than that.
I'm joking.
I was gonna say like half of Korea just entered the tournament. Like there's like babies like using their little fingers to drag them on this old people.
Oh, we had some young ones joining at the site, and they had to go back. Mentioned last time because there's a age restriction because this goes out on TV, and I think they were below 15. I think that's the age limit, and they had to go back because they were. But within the upcoming years, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years, they will be the ones standing on the stage. And we still have 23 seconds to talk about after that, man.
These 3-minute deck choices, like, there's only so much we can talk about each time, right? I don't think we will ever see an Inferno Tower, or a Bomb Tower, actually.
Well, I think this Electro Wizard ban is towards... It's making Zebra to think maybe I need to bring some Princess cards or some of the AoE, maybe even Ice Wizard to do some AoE slow or damage, sort of like that. Some Archer from the backline to take care of the multiple target damage at once. We'll see what kind of psychological war that will happen. Seems like the players are ready to jump in. We do hear the music, and he raises the head. Let's go and jump into game number 1 between Expo Master and Zebra. Just in time.
Perfect timing though this time.
Let's see.
Okay, so we're gonna wait until both players get up to that 10 mana. It looks like Hog Rider Ice Spirit starting off. That's a quite aggressive start, I think.
But actually seems like Ice Spirit landed onto the goblins. It hits onto the tower. Both players just having log.
Lug is a very useful card in these kind of matches because you don't know what your opponent's going to put out, but you can guarantee that Lug is going to get some value. It's a very value card.
And also at the end, if the tower has like below 800 HP remaining, you can just use the log to finish off the game just like that. And it's a very big tool. You can also push back to use the maximum spell. Well, here comes, talking about spell, here comes the Graveyard coming out from Zebra.
Yeah, this is not doing as much damage as it looked like it was going to do. Some really good defense there.
Mega Minion came along very heavily. Mega Minion does a ton of damage to all the units and also the structure. Here comes the Hog Rider once more. Oh, here comes the Mega Knight though.
So Mega Knight dropping down. He can't attack upwards, unfortunately, but he does so much damage to ground units. Like, it's really hard to deal with him at this point. Luckily, that graveyard, the tombstone, was perfectly placed in between both towers so that when that knight walks into the middle, he's getting hit by both towers.
That was well aggroed to both towers, and actually, but Zebra used all 10 cards, and Expo already knows what cards that he has in place, what cards will be coming up very soon. But he's still holding two. Seems like he needs some heavy. Maybe he's holding some rockets potentially.
That was a perfect predictive log to protect that Hog Rider. But this game is incredibly close. Like, both players have barely damaged either tower. And considering that Zebra has used most of his cards, you'd expect a little bit more damage to come out from Zebra here.
So the Hog Rider is going in, the Wizard. Trying to do something. Night Wizard actually does some damage, but Hog Rider does land on few hits onto that tower. It's down to 1100 now.
Yeah, so he's starting to get further and further ahead with these Hog Riders. Like, he's using them, he's putting them in different lanes to make sure that they always hit the tower. Good tornado there.
Holding in the tornado until this moment. But the Graveyard is actually doing some damage, but the problem for Zebra at the moment was that Hog Rider until now, but great use of Mega Knight there to stop the Hog Rider and also to pass now. It seems like he will be the one doing massive damage onto the tower.
Once again, perfect placement of that Graveyard to pull that Mega Knight right into the middle. He's done this twice now, almost perfectly. His positioning is really, really strong.
They're about even. Little more favor for Expo Master. Here comes the Hog once more. Does he have the defensive card? Here comes the Mega.
The Mega Knight again. Like, that card keeps coming up for Zebra. He's doing really well to make sure that he's holding that back to take out that Hog Rider as quickly as possible. And again, perfect Graveyard. There's the Rocket. Takes out most of the units there. Leaves a little bit on the Dark Knight. But it was just enough that one tower hit was fine.
Nice Hog and just log, and Hog Rider may
should
actually take
be
it
a
that one more hit.
38.
No,
Oh!
38 length, but single log will finish the game, so it's only a matter of time that Expo will win. He will
There he
finish
goes.
this with a blast. That's game number 1 going to Expo. Seems like he doesn't even need the Expo to be a master.
No, that was that kind of came out of nowhere, but he had so many options to hit that tower that he just has to keep cycling his cheaper units to make sure he has either the log, the rocket, the graveyard, like anything like that would have taken that game again.
Yeah, he did. Initially, he put a lot of damage to the tower. I think that was a great way of starting. Zebra had a good counter with the Mega Knight later on, but when he did not have the Mega Knight in his hand, I think that was the biggest problem for him at the moment. When he had the counter against the Hog Rider, he could have he did defend against the Hog Rider, but when he did not have it, the Wizard just did not cut it.
Yeah, he just couldn't defend it every time. Like, Dark Knight is a very expensive card, and most of the time he was just down on Elixir compared to Expo Master.
He was a little late to react, and also the predictive logs came in super handy for Expo Master. He did lots of damage, took out some goblins at the same time, also damaged the tower most of the time too. Made it easier for Hog Rider to jump right into the tower and do some damage. Just a perfect use of log just like that. They were also focusing onto the right side initially, but the momentum switched to the left side, and I think they countered that they countered that pretty well. Graveyard did not actually do too much in that game.
No, it was kind of kept out of the reach of the tower with the Mega Minion and Wizard, the Ice Wizard. Like, everything like that he was using there just defended perfectly against it.
Yeah, that's hard because Graveyard is 5 elixir cost and Mega Minion is only 3. And when you can basically counter the Graveyard with a single Mega Minion, you're getting that 2 elixir value, and within that time, if you get 2 more, you can just get the Hog Rider just like that. So I think by elixir rotating the shuffling, I think Zebra was just caught off guard there. It seems like the minute is up. They do have new decks going into game number 3, and I believe we are ready, and let's go into game number 2.
Game number 3?
I got a little ahead there, but of course he will start. Seems like he's keeping the Hog Rider.
So both players can change their decks, but usually what we saw yesterday was definitely that the winner would always try to keep that deck first. This time, Zebra is using the Bandit and Miner. Now, yes, the other day we saw the Miner being such a key part of most of the decks.
Yeah, this is the tornado play we see all the time. When the Miner comes in, you use the tornado to activate your King Tower just like that, so you have so much more defense for your way. And he got that started in less than a minute already. His defense is solid. You just have to push in with the Hog Rider, just like in game number 1.
Yeah, that Inferno Dragon isn't the best card to use against Hog Rider. Like, Hog Rider could still get 1, 2, maybe even 3 hits against the tower.
Let's see if Inferno Dragon, who is doing tons of damage to a single unit. Does he have multiple units like the Skeleton?
I don't think he needs it. Like, yeah, he had plenty of HP there. He had plenty of hit points. The Inferno Dragon could not touch the tower until right at the end. He got maybe 1-2 seconds max and dealt a few hundred damage, but it puts him behind because he just doesn't have enough going forward again. He has to wait to build up that elixir.
If that log landed like a second before, the Hog could have done so much more damage. Here comes the bat for the defense, taking out the Mega Minion and some units coming in. Here's the Miner once more now. This one should do a lot more damage.
Ice Spirit though, that Ice Spirit freezing the Miner straight away before he even got 1 hit on the tower. Perfect timing on that Ice Spirit to make sure that the tower is protected.
Ooh, maybe Zebra was panicking at the time. Bandit was placed right next to Hog Rider, did not get the charge onto the Hog Rider, making the Hog Rider doing so much more damage. Here comes the Miner from Zebra now though.
Once again, the Ice Spirit, the Ice Wizard, blocking out the Miner, making sure that there's not that much damage being done. He gets the tower.
Hog Rider log is just working fine right now and takes perfect use of the rocket, taking down the dragon.
But will he get this tower? Just not. This is going to be rough now for Zebra to pull this one back.
He does have the Bandit, but aggroed into the tombstone.
Both players exchanging logs, throwing them at each other, not hitting.
That's going to be gain. Not enough for Zebra to come back into the game. 1 second, and that's it. Game 2 also going to Expo. Seems like he's having some confidence, just nodding his head, saying that, okay, I've got this. I'm gonna finish this series quick and easy with a 3-0. Seems like Hog Rider is the perfect card to use against Zebra.
Yeah, Zebra really needs to, well, he has to reverse sweep this. He has to win 3 games in a row now. And we haven't seen anyone win 3 games in a row so far in this tournament.
And maybe this will be the first one. Maybe the young mechanics are over the top of the old one. Who knows? And Zebra, of course, is thinking very hard. What do I need to bring to counter against all the Hog Riders coming in? And the log, I think, is the biggest problem. Maybe he just brings some minions in. The log cannot do any damage to the air units. Maybe that could be the answer.
And just remember that Expo Master actually has much lower trophy count than Zebra. So if we were just to look at the trophy counts, that means that Zebra should be a better player than Expo Master.
That is true. Maybe the Expo was actually stopping him from getting more trophies. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he just loves the card too much. He just puts it in every deck. Like, I really like to put in the Knight. It's not the best card going forwards, but he's still good, and he looks cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want a cool-looking card to put in the deck.
Expo is a heavy one, 6 elixir cost, and it takes a long time to get the Expo started too. It takes a long time to spawn, so there are lots of ways to counter it. But even without the Expo, he's doing it fine. Seems like he's not having any nerves on stage. He's very young. Usually the young players, we sometimes have some hiccups and they're surprised. They're nervous on stage. They make mistakes. But for Expo tonight, I don't think that is the case. And this game, once we go into game number 3, it could be the end of the series, as we will have our first 3-0 from Global Series Korea, as we are ready to jump into game number 3 very soon. It seems like we've got the confirmation that game is ready. Let's go into game number 3 between Zebra and Expo Master.
So what does Zebra need here to be able to win this game?
I usually like some minions or even a minion horde to counter against lots of the land units that ground unit that comes straight to the tower. It also takes out like the heavy tanks like giants, but it could all be destroyed by a sometimes single zap or arrows. But
we've seen both players use logs. So as you said, the minion horde could be a really good card here because the log is completely ineffective against it.
We'll see. Night Wizard bringing out the bats.
This might be Zebra using his first deck again. This looks very similar to the deck he used in the first game. Expo Master is sticking with the same deck again by the look of it. The first 3 minions, the first 3 cards are all the same. But it looks like Zebra has gone back to game number 1. Maybe he felt that game number 2 just did not go his way.
Here goes the Hog Rider doing 1. Just 1 damage now activates the King Tower now, and Zebra, I think he brought the Tornado as the counter here.
Yeah, perfect choice here, perfect tech choice to bring that Hog Rider down onto the King Tower to increase his defenses. Perfect choice. But both players here are playing very, very passive.
The Tombstone will get some aggro whenever there is a dive unit from the other side. Mega Minion just flying in, just like that. Comes a graveyard though. After the Mega Minion was used, I'm not sure if that was the best timing. Maybe doing some damage onto the tower though.
He's got some, but it could have been a lot more effective. That Hog Rider and Ice Spirit can still do a lot of damage here.
Let's do another hit onto the tower.
Not as
good
much as
trade. It seems like we're running out of battery. 10% left.
Charge your phone.
Let's go charge our battery. Let's see, the Tombstone is placed in the middle. And here comes the Mega Knight once more, just like in game number 1.
Takes out that Hog Rider. But why wasn't he using this earlier on in the game? Like,
it's very heavy, and Hog Rider is only 4. Countering that is super hard, and I think Expo has lots of small units to counter delay the Mega Knight so hard.
And again, the Hog Rider comes out. Like, Expo Master is cycling through his cards so quickly to make sure that he gets what he needs.
Yeah, Expo Master does have 3 Ice Wizard. Comes in handy to take out multiple targets at once. But
is that tower going
doing
to
so much damage? Even the poison spell dropped right onto the tower.
Yeah, this looks like Zebra might take the game. Like 365, he has Graveyard, he has poison. He should have enough to finish that tower quite easily.
And that was just enough to get some hits onto the Hog Rider. Now this minion, Mega Minion, will also head towards the left bottom one. Seems like it will be very close now.
Going to be enough. It's
down
getting so close.
And
88, one more hit.
Yes, too many spells, and that will be game for sure. Any kind of spell, graveyard, or even the poison will just finish the game just like that. So Expo, on the other hand, is putting as much as possible onto the right. Zebra just has to cycle and wait for that spell. There we go. And maybe this will be a start of a reverse sweep happening here.
Yeah, so a great game. Both play like Zebra's playing the same deck as he did in round 1, but played it much better. Maybe his nerves have calmed down. Maybe he was a little nervous at the beginning, but now he's comfortable. He's, you know, got into a groove. Like his card play, his tempo is much, much better.
That was a great game. I would say Zebra has learned and adapted just in 2 games how to react against all the Hog Rider now. But Expo, on the other hand, he had this much time to wait and prepare for another deck. Now they both have a minute to change their deck, of course. But will Zebra just keep the Tornado and see? I think the Hog Rider is the key for sure in this match, but he may actually not bring the Hog Rider anymore. Maybe he will just have something else this time.
Yeah, if I was Expo, I think I would change my deck at this point. He has 2 games to play with. So even if he tries something experimental in the next game, he still has that last game to be able to throw out that deck again and, like game 1, take it with that deck.
So a lot more strategy, of course, revealed from Zebra, because the Expo Master was basically playing very similar decks since set 1 through all the way to set 3. Now going into set 4, what kind of changes will he make? Maybe I heard lots of Korean players like to use the 3 Musketeers. Maybe we'll have some more 3 Musketeers coming in to play, as from the beginning it is one of the most expensive card in the game with the 9 elixir cost. Because he's been using very light decks, maybe it's time to move on from the light ones to the heavier ones.
But the way Zebra has been playing, I don't think that would be a good choice to move to that heavier deck, because Zebra's deck is very mid-range. It's a very balanced deck in terms of elixir cost.
Oh, they had their minute. Will that be enough time for them to change everything, for them to swing back? Maybe Zebra takes this game to bring us to a 2-2. This could be the end of the series, as I said before. For Expo Master, all he needs is one more game. We're ready to jump into game number 4. Let's get in.
Here we are again.
Once again, Expo,
waiting for that 10 elixir.
Expo Master in blue on the bottom, and in red, Zebra once more. Now he's bringing the bats just to test out what kind of stuff Expo has right now. Seems like he's not taking anything down at the moment. He's just waiting now.
Yeah, Expo realizes that was purely for a cycle.
Okay,
Ooh.
a knight for the first time coming out from Zebra, I believe.
And minions for Expo Master. Now these are both new decks, so we're not sure what's going to turn up in this. We have Mega Minion as well, and Dark Knight?
Oh,
Mega Knight, sorry.
yeah.
Mega Knight.
Dark Prince and Mega Knight, they do look similar. You can only see their eyes.
They're
sure.
both wearing
but
buckets.
Now he's brought the balloon, though. If it gets a tornado to counter it perfectly, I guess. But it's going close to the tower. Does not actually get any hits. Only the bomb will explode.
Still gets some damage off on that bowler, which will be useful because the bowler is very tanky. So this will help his other units to be able to take out the bowler much, much easier.
That tornado placement and the timing was perfectly done from Zebra, and also did some damage onto the bottom left tower for Expo. And it's a very good way to counter all the ground units like that with some minions, but it can be countered pretty easily. Even as to commit the miner, seems like he did not have the best cards in his hands at the moment.
Yeah, that miner and the graveyard and the poison spell together deals so much damage. We can see again that tower is now down to 1,300, while Zebra's tower's untouched.
What else does he have, though? He really needs to push that Mega Knight into the red tower to do some damage. So he's bringing all the heavy ones, the balloon, Mega Knight jumping in, but this is the exact counter what Zebra did last time. Even having the minion horde to attack both sides now.
Minion horde dropping there, but still going to get quite a bit of damage onto that top tower.
And it may get destroyed, and as
it's so close!
100 left. Drops down another Mega Knight here, and the graveyard comes in. Zebra knows that he is in hard times right now. He needs to do as much as damage as possible to the left out of tower.
Perfect bats on that defense against the graveyard spell there, making sure that those skeletons cannot deal anything. The miner comes in. Oh, what a tornado!
But that doesn't matter. The Zach will just finish the game just like that. We still have a second, but it is game over, and Expo will take game number 4 and the series first win for himself in this double round robin format in Group B.
That was looking quite hairy there for Expo Master. He took most of the damage. It wasn't until 60 seconds left, I think, when he started to push forward to start damaging those towers. I think the first hit he actually got on a tower was about 60 seconds remaining.
Yep, that was well done for such a young player we have on the stage. Seems like he had the tools. He knew exactly what to do against that kind of deck. Even Tornado was not enough because Tornado can only be placed, well, it can be placed in the middle, but it will not grab onto every single unit going to both lanes. Nicely placed. He knew how much damage was going to come out from the other side, so he intentionally put all small units to the side. And with so many elixir already used for Zebra, he could not really spend all that resource onto both lanes for the defense. That push was insane with the minion horde and some ground units together onto the right side.
Yeah, saving that minion horde right until the end. Like, that was the very last card he played in the deck. It dealt so much damage.
And that's it, the result. 3-1. He's Expo Master, guys, to remind you. And
what? We didn't get to see the Expo.
Yeah. And that's how good he is. And what if he plays the Expo? I think
maybe a 3-0 if he actually gets the Expo.
New player that we have on stage for the first time may go out all the way to the finals. Maybe become the first place from Korea and heading to London just like that. And that, if you talk about characters, I think that's a good character because basically all of your opponents will be thinking about the ban. And I think I just have to ban Expo. And I think that is the best choice going against him, you know?
I said right at the beginning, like, Expo Master, maybe the name is like a feint. Maybe he's just trying to get people to ban out the Expo so that he can do what he wants to do.
Oh, we will see. I think this is the last game, I believe.
Yep. This is game number 4.
Last game number because Expo has a Mega Knight and the balloon there.
Now this is the first time we've seen balloon so far this tournament.
I think it's the second time.
So it's not a very popular card right now. Like,
not from Korea at all. We see the bowler to counter. Balloon, because of the tornado, could not do too much. This one was not too effective, but once wait until the next push of waves coming out from the blue, going right up. It seems like he's focusing on the left, but right after all the units are placed and dropped down from Zebra, he focuses on to the right, bringing all the other units in place. I think this is the moment that we're about to watch.
So Expo Master's deck, all it needed to do was defend and not lose a tower until the double elixir mark. There goes the miner and the minion horde, and just look how much damage this deals. Even with that tornado, he still managed to get so much damage.
That zap to stop the units, the air units coming out from Zebra was a big one. They could have stalled a lot of time, but even with the tornado, I think they did close to max damage onto the tower.
Now it's just a case of cycling through, making sure that he doesn't lose that tower there, and the game will be his.
That's how he just takes it as a miner, and he has lots of spells, and he felt pretty confident. I was guessing that we have a new player today. Maybe we'll see some nervousness coming out. Maybe we'll see some choke plays coming out. Maybe some surprises. But this is a surprise for sure, as he took over the Zebra, and that was well played.
Yeah, flawless play pretty much by Expo. Like, this is going to be a 17-year-old kid who might go all the way to London. Like, that would be insane for him.
Well, we are still only at the beginning of round of 8, but that's it for match number 1, though. We will have match number 2 right after this, so stay tuned. And we will have Ido and Chashu going against each other in match number 2. Stay tuned, guys. Well, welcome back with match number 2. We already have the players seated here as Ido and Chashu will be going against each other for the first time. As we have with the last 2 players still hidden from Group B. We'll get to see some more actions coming out from them.
Yeah, so we'll probably get to see some new kind of play as well. Like, so far we've seen very varied play styles. Like we saw in the last game, Expo Master was very tempo-based. He made sure that he always had a bit of an elixir advantage against his opponent, whereas Zebra was much more controlling.
Oh, let's take a look at the players.
안녕하세요. 저는 이도 소태도라는 아이디를 쓰는 박준석이라고 해요. 저번 대회 때도 참가를 했었거든요. 그때 경험한 게 좀 큰 것 같아요. 카메라 이렇게 나오고 그러니까 손도 막 떨고 긴장하고 그랬거든요. 저번에 대회 나가면서 친해졌던 그 친구들이랑 같이 연습도 좀 하고. 이거 우리 저번에 합숙했잖아. 합숙하면서 같이 그 친선 경기도 많이 하고 분석도 많이 했잖아. 나만 8강에 올라왔잖아. 응원 한 번만 해줘, 비버야.
안에 들어서 런던 가서 게임할 수 있도록 파이팅 하세요.
파이팅!
파이팅!
그래, 고맙다, 비버야. 차슈덕밤님이나 어떤 덱을 쓰는지도 몰라요. 아무것도 모르는 상태에서 왔는데 다 이겼잖아요. 그러니까 뭐 또 잘 되면 이제 슈퍼셀에서 또 한번 구경하라고 하지 않겠어요? 재밌게 놀다 갈게요. 파이팅!
안녕하세요. 차슈덮밥 닉네임을 사용하고 있는 장봉석입니다. 대회가 제가 딱 한 번 진출 안 했거든요. 크라운컵 1회 바빠가지고 진출을 못했는데 그 전에 있던 대회는 제가 다 우승을 하거나 준우승을 하거나 적어도 4강이었거든요. 그래서 대회에서는 자신 있다고 생각합니다. 이도 소태도 님도 엄청 잘하시는 분이라고 경계를 해야 된다 생각하고 총사를 엄청 잘 쓰신다고 들었는데 저도 총사를 좋아해가지고 만나면 재미있을 것 같아요. 제가 원래는 경제소질 있고 맞아주고 운영만 하는 이런 스타일이었는데 그런 스타일 버리고 이제 둘로 거의 다 할 수 있다고 생각합니다. 목표는 우승입니다.
We have Ido and Chashu. Actually, both players knowing each other somewhat and what they like to play. Maybe we'll see a band coming out with Three Musketeers, as both players likes to play Three Musketeers.
Yeah, I think banning Three Musketeers, like in the Korean metagame for the tournaments, it hasn't appeared too much, but it is definitely one of the favorites out of nearly every Korean player I get to see.
Compared to something like Balloon, I think they were using lots of Three Musketeers. Seems like Chashu is having some fun. And Ido seemed like he was having some nervous issues on stage last time. Maybe he got that through, had the experience. Maybe this time he will just not have that at all. Highest trophy pretty high, up there, close to 6,000 there.
Yeah, so maybe the reason why he has current low trophies is because he is experimenting on the ladder. Maybe he's trying things that he wanted to bring to the tournament, finding out that it's not quite working for him, so he's going to change back to another style and make sure that he gets those trophies back in the end.
Yep, and seems like, and we have Chashu in red on the other side. About similar, about same amount of trophies for both players.
Yeah,
highest of close to 6,000, but a little low, and current trophy around 4,800 there.
Yeah, both players here are very, very balanced in terms of trophy count. So this should make it so that we get a very close game. I can't see it being 3-0 to one player or the other.
This is a cool shot with the giant in the middle. Let's see. We'll get to see the ban cards coming out very soon. Let's see what they have decided as the... Let's check out the blind ban from each player. Maybe we'll see both Three Musketeers. Oh, Hog Rider ban.
And Elixir Collector, the MVP from day one. It's banned out here. This is a really interesting choice. Like, banning out the Elixir Collector, it means that he's expecting Ido to be super greedy in his matches.
Maybe that's also... It's always... it's saying two things. One offensive, one defensive. It can also mean that Chashu wants to just have some lighter deck cycle through his deck, and he's really not prepared against all the heavy decks from the other side. I think that's the way he looks at it. If he's saying that a big heavy deck will be a good counter against his deck.
But banning Hog Rider, that is open. Hog Rider and Elixir Collector aren't really high on your ban priority lists normally. This opens up so many other cards that can come out.
I think we'll see very light decks coming out throughout the series because Elixir is banned out, and also maybe we'll also see some tanks.
I think we're going to see a lot of minor play in this one.
Minor play just scratching onto the tower, using lots of spells to deal with. You see all the Night, Tornado. See, we see so many spells like Graveyard, Log. Of course, that's not the only deck.
Inferno Dragons. Like, these are all cards that maybe sometimes you will ban. Like, banning Hog Rider and Elixir Collector, it has opened up everything. Like, anything is viable right now because both of those cards are very specific style of decks that you have to ban them in.
Yeah, depends on what kind of decks you prepared. Sometimes if your unit is banned away in your deck, you just have to change 1-2 cards. But if it's a deck that was focused on the Hog Rider, you have to change the entire deck. And I think, well, they had lots of time to prepare for the match stage. You have lots of decks going in, but it was easier to watch Chashu's deck, but it seems a little bit tougher for Ido as he's just having the cell phone at the moment. Oh, look at those deck lists!
He is prepared. That was a good, what, 20 deck lists? I'm not very good at counting. Like 1, 2, 7, 8, right? But he had lots of decks prepared here.
Seems like he has practiced a lot, and I think it comes from the boot camp. He even said he went through a boot camp for the season, and I don't think anyone else did that for this tournament.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, a boot camp is where you go somewhere with other teammates or guildmates or clanmates.
Clanmates in this case, I guess.
Yeah, clanmates. But you go with anyone. You just play and play. Talk about your strategy.
That communication comes in as a big tool. You play with other pros. You try to contest. You have lots of scrims. You get feedback, and you change your deck, how you can improve your deck. And he has gone through, I don't know how long, but committing that much time for this tournament. And as you can see from that picture alone, with possibly 20+ decks there, I think that was the result from the bootcamp. And but having those decks is good, but on stage it could be a different result as he is faced against a different opponent this time.
I mean, one of the things is Hog Rider is a very specific closing card. So banning it out, you're taking away your opponent's closer in probably 50% of his decks.
Let's see, Hog Rider seems to be the playmaking card for lots of Korean players here. But after the 3 minutes, I think we are almost ready to jump into game number 1. Both players are almost ready. But the music is there. Let's see what kind of decks they have prepared for the series. Let's start. First set, Ido, Sotedo on left in blue, and Chashu on the right top in red.
Dropping the Bandit at the back. A low-cost card, making sure that he can cycle through. He has to play something to try and get cards that he needs.
Goblin
Mega Minion
just dropped in to check out what other cards that he's holding in his hand. We see lots of light cards coming in. Bat Minion dropping down from Ido.
Lots of air cards too. Like we have the Baby Dragon, the Mega Minion. We have bats and minions from the other side. It's interesting that they're taking this fight to the air.
We see some heavy cards drop now. Golem committed from Chashu. He wants to make this push in because that Golem wants to get to all the way. And there's
Sparky right at the back.
Sparky will do a great deal of damage.
There's nothing he can really do about this, right? Like,
needs a long time to recharge though. There's the tornado doing AoE damage just like that. But these golems are doing so much damage actually to the towers.
Yeah, Sparky just didn't quite do what he should have done. Even with the tornado pulling everything together, he should have done so much more damage than that. There's the lightning spell.
Lightning spell took a lot of HP off of Sparky and also damaged the tower, I believe, at the same time. Tornado coming in a lot better for Chashu because he has a lot more ways to deal with the upcoming forces, just like that.
Yeah, Sparky just, it didn't seem to do enough when it needed to be done. The minions here taking down the Baby Dragon. That is opening up the Mega Knight to take more damage, to do more damage to the tower. Is he gonna get it? Oh!
Maybe he just did not have the same exact cards to deal with that at the moment. Seems like we are going all the way in.
That really didn't feel like it was coming. Like there was just no defense played out there by Chashu. He just let it take out the tower.
Because if he actually committed the golem to defend, then it's going to the other tower which has full HP. Then I think he just waited to actually get the trade because he had enough. He still has enough time. Of course, there's Sparky and Mega Knight on the other side. Even Lightning dropped down, so he wants to get this tower down and make it even before we run out of time.
This golem should definitely take out this tower. Even if it dies, there you go. It pops. It deals that area damage, takes out that tower. So Chashu making the correct decision, do you think?
A better decision to not actually defend this tower and use it as an offensive tool to trade, and we are going over time here. As Sparky will try to counter again. The golem seems like it's not doing enough though. With Sparky, there's tons of damage, but tornado may have to be used.
That lightning potion again did so much damage. The minions just go in to tickle the towers a little bit before getting taken out, but that golem did so much damage again to a tower.
Does not have anything like Inferno Tower, Inferno Dragon to do max damage onto the single unit. I guess Sparky is the best choice that he has.
That offensive Sparky there is an interesting choice. Like, he's been using Sparky for defense this whole time. Puts it over the river, over the bridge, using it offensively this time.
Of course, if you can get a hit onto the tower directly with a Sparky, it will basically take out the top.
It's gonna do it.
Oh! It does 1 damage. I think that's enough to take the entire game just like that. Takes 3 crowns with a Sparky deck.
Chas's face was like, I can't believe Sparky got through. Straight away, his tongue's out, he's smiling, he's like, I can't believe that just happened. Who expects Sparky to actually land on a tower like that at that stage of the game?
Well, as we see, as the green guy once again with the Mega Knight drawing, it's a pretty good drawing. I had to admit, but Sparky used as a defensive tool, even offensive, and bringing the Mega Knight to do max damage as a defensive tool, and also to chunk all the damage that comes into him. So the Sparky can do some damage onto the tower. As you saw, the number going down with just 1 shot was immense there.
It just melted the tower, especially with, like, you have the Mega Knight, you have the minions as well. It was a good push. What could you do against it?
It's the best legendary card.
I mean,
with the most damage, yes. The most damaging legendary card, for sure. Of course, it's
situational.
Hit speed is super slow, as you just saw in game number 2. Game number 1, but so if you can do that much, along with the tornado, you can also use it as a defensive tool. We see a lot of tornado executioner coming out from other regions. We have not seen a single executioner coming out from Korea, though. Not yet.
Yeah, it's interesting that Executioner and even Night Witch are really popular in other regions, but they just don't seem to be as popular in this tournament.
Maybe a lot of the players are hiding it intentionally for the round-robin format because they need to play lots of games. And if they review all the decks already, then they have to worry about what they're going to do next in the later matches. So I think it's a good strategy to actually hide it until the later matches. But guys, seems like the minute is up. They had some time to revise their decks, see what could be a good counter against Sparky. I believe there are lots. Lots, but we are going and jumping right into game number 2 between Ido and Chashu.
You know, it's interesting that you talked about hiding decks for later on in the tournament. Ido kind of accidentally revealed his card, like his prepared decks. So maybe like when they're rewatching this for the future, they're going to pause it right there, check out all the decks, and see what he's going to be playing in the future.
It can help, I guess. Maybe if you're thinking about the ban card. But they have so much time. They have 3 minutes before the game starts and also a minute to revise their deck. So let's see. It could be a good strategy. Balloon does not get a hit onto the tower, but it will explode and do the bomb damage.
So I thought that balloon might have got one bomb off. It was very, very close to getting it off. It was just out of range before it fell down.
So better trades overall coming down from Ido, but now the tombstone will be dropped down. So balloon, also he cannot land on the balloon because the balloon will be going to that tombstone instead of the tower. That's a good aggro tool.
Yeah, there's the balloon again, played right on the side. This should try to connect the tower, but that poison just chipping away at that balloon might be enough before the bomb goes off. Yeah, once more, perfect balloon defense there.
Yeah, he placed it onto the left side, slightly more to the left side. So he was expecting the balloon to come from that way because that was the expected path. Nice play and prediction coming out from Chashu like that. The Lava Hound.
So Ido is playing a very tanky deck. He has Mega Minion, he has the Ice Golem, he has the Balloon, which the Balloon is kind of a tank. Like, it doesn't deal any damage, but it does draw aggro back across the river.
He's also going to use Balloon. Both players bringing the Balloon, but with the Lava, though. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, that Lava Hound is going to deal so much damage with the Balloon. 1, 2, can it get 3? Will that balloon get 3?
It's enough to take down the tower already.
Is it going to drop one on the King Tower too?
I think it will be close. Drops 1 already. And he gave up on defense. He's going all the way in offensively. But the balloon is going towards the tombstone. And he's just taking that out, but not get a hit. Single hit onto the top left tower.
Chasu's balloon defense is clearly much better than Ido's right now. Ido should not have let that balloon do as much damage as it did. He had Bats, he had the Mega Minion, he should have defended it.
It was tough to make this split-second decision as another Lava. This could be a big trade. The balloon getting aggroed by the tombstone once more, buying enough time because he does not have anything like a tornado this time. That will be
the
a
tower
trade.
though.
But on the other hand, Lava Hound has been pushing and balloon placed right before. This was the exact same play we saw from before.
It's so good.
Both players going all in aggressive. This is a race for the tower.
Oh!
And Chashu takes this.
Who needs defense?
Who needs defense? Yes.
Who needs defense? Just go all out.
Wow, that was a race.
That switch right there was like instantaneous. It was like, I'm not going to defend anything here. I'm just going to go all out attack.
Even after taking a set, Chashu's not too happy, as you can see.
Maybe he feels he should have closed that out without losing the tower.
Because he did give a crown count to Ido just like that, but Lava Hound, as the similar to Clash of Clans, all the air attacks Lava Hound along with all the maximum balloon does so much damage. If you let that balloon just go through like that, you just saw what happens. Your towers will be destroyed.
3-4 bomb drops like on a tower. That balloon was uncontested. Like, you shouldn't be letting it 1 hit maybe, 2 probably the most you will ever accept in a game. Taking that much damage, Ido has got to be kicking himself.
Yeah, that's right. It does tons of damage, close to, well, if you maxed upgraded, I think close to 800 almost. And also has a pretty good damage onto, with the death damage too, with the bomb exploding onto units and towers at the same time. So balloon is a big tool. We were wondering and talking about this in game number 1. We don't see too much balloons in Korea. I think it's about time we see those actions coming up.
Do you think we'll see the same deck again? Because both those decks are kind of easily countered if you're prepared for it. So do you think we'll see it again?
Well, not too sure. I think Ice Wizard to slow their movements and attack speed, and can also be a big tool.
Minion
just
horde?
having some more air unit could be just enough. Let's see what kind of adjustment these players brought going into game number 3, and let's jump right in.
So here we are again. Both players waiting for that 10 mana. Ice Golem goes down first. This could be a very similar deck to the last game.
So they are now bringing some ice in action to slow the attack down coming out from the other side.
Electro Wizard.
Electro Wizard.
So Ice and Lightning doesn't quite have the same ring to it as Ice and Fire, does it?
Well, Electric does counter ice, I believe, from Pokemon World, so...
Does it? I can't even remember. I know it counters water. I'm not so sure about the ice.
One way or the other, it does crit, I believe. But here comes another baby dragon. Now, not too much focused on air. Air units. Here comes the golem.
So this is a very, like, for Chasu, this is similar to
game number 1.
Yeah, this is a very
deck used for 1, but now graveyard used from the other side. Ido is going to commit. The graveyard did take about close to half the HP on the top left one.
P.E.K.K.A, that's a good choice against this golem. It should take it down in a few hits.
But this golem will be hitting onto the tower to at least 1, maybe 2.
Plus the explosion, plus more.
The death damage
Great
is there.
Again.
Gets a good trade on that damage, but this P.E.K.K.A will be pushing with the baby dragon now. What other cards will he be using? The predicted log just whiffs, but did do some damage onto the tower. Tornado is committed as a defensive tool.
That Night Witch was just out of range, so that the splash damage from the baby dragon didn't touch the tower at all. Those 2 chips from the splash damage could actually decide the game. There goes the graveyard spell. Ido does not look happy with that graveyard spell coming down.
Because he saw, I think that the reason why he was not too happy, because he saw the dragon dropping right on top of the graveyard. Of course, dragon does AoE damage and takes down the small units very quickly. Yes, quickly, and just like that. And meanwhile, this will be a battle once more. The Golden versus P.E.K.K.A.
Ido does have the advantage if this game does go down into overtime. Like, that tower only has 827 hit points left, and he has decent AoE, so he should be able to take it out, as long as his tower doesn't fall first.
He's trying to delay as much as possible, but these golems are doing some damage. That's the problem.
Ido just doesn't seem to be able to deal very well with the golem pressure. Maybe Chasu has realized.
Yes, 10 available. Here comes the graveyard with massive forces coming up on the left. This may be enough to take down the tower. And with the low, I think he will get it, and he takes game number 3 with the P.E.K.K.A, with the graveyard. Nice defensive tools against the golem, even if he did not have anything single damage like Inferno Tower, but he has done it with the P.E.K.K.A, with the tools, and he has some air units. That was well done. And plus, Electro Wizard also took out the bats coming out from the other side.
Yeah, so Ido there, right at the end, he knew that he just had enough damage there to put it down. He throws his phone down. He's like, right, let's get on to game number 4. He's prepared for this final game. Maybe final game, sorry. It's not quite the final game yet.
Simon's prediction is always wrong, guys. Seems like we're going to a full series tonight. It is 2-1 for Ido at the moment, but they will soon have another minute to change their deck. Simon, what do you think was the problem coming down to Chasu for game number 3?
I don't know. he just didn't. I don't know. It didn't seem like his defense was terrible that time. Like he seemed to be dealing a lot of damage. He was doing really well, but then Ido just turned up the heat, and Chasu just couldn't seem to stop it. I couldn't see anything wrong with Chasu's play at all.
Well, Chasu had Tornado, but there was nothing really. No units to really pair up it to create that synergy along with the Tornado. We talk a lot about Tornado Executioner because it never came out in Korea yet. But the Golem takes a lot of damage, which can lead the other units from the back to just do range damage. Maybe if we brought in some Musketeer or something like that from the back line, I think he could have actually got more damage onto the tower.
Yeah. Maybe with the Tornado he needed a Sparky. Maybe he just needed the Sparky from game number 1. Like if he had it, he could have done a lot more damage.
Well, that will be insane. Both players using Sparky in a single series, but time is up and the minute is already gone. As we get ready for game number 4, can Chasu here swing it back and get back into the series. Ido still leading the series with a 2-1. Let's get into game 4.
So very few players start hyper aggressive. Nobody really goes all out at the very beginning. They always wait till 10 mana. No one just throws things down.
I do.
I was gonna say I do too.
I throw down an Expo from the beginning. No. Only sometimes, but they are waiting and just checking out what kind of units the opponent has in his deck. Both players actually using a Mega Minion this time.
Baby Dragon.
Night Witch. Seems like very air-focused deck coming out from Chasu.
Baby Dragon took out most of that push there. He took out the Mega Minion and took out the minions that were behind it.
Here comes the Golem and the Log to take down. But Infernal Dragon,
what a tech choice.
This is a good way to deal with the Golem. It does so much damage onto a single unit. And I think Golem will barely get one hit on the tower.
Yeah, Tombstone 2 is a really good choice to pull away that Golem from his tower. Like, Ido knew, I'm losing to Golems. What can I do to defend this?
Infernal Dragon, of course. Great way to deal with high hit points. Hit point unit that comes slowly over time. What else does he have though? Has Baby Dragon. He has the Golem to take all the damage to move up, to move from the other side. Still holding in 2 more cards as Lava Hound slowly making an approach to the left.
Ido is very air heavy this time. Like, unbelievably air heavy. Mega Minion, Lava Hound, Inferno Dragon. Like, what else could he possibly have? A balloon? Like, is he just going all air decks?
I think he has some spells left over, maybe even a rocket. Made it here. It will be a very heavy deck though.
The Lava Hound making some connection there onto the tower, but not really massive damage. This Inferno Dragon is going to go down really quickly.
This is a crazy push coming down, and this tower is going down quickly as Mega Minion will now do direct damage to the tower. Same for the Baby Dragon.
Throwing that Miner out to defend, that's losing some of his offensive push there.
So the last 2 were the spells as we predicted, the Fireball and Zap. Not the Rocket though, as the deck will be way too heavy.
Especially without the Elixir collectors. The Lava Hound getting a couple hits onto that tower. The Miner at the back dealing so much damage.
That's the part, he has to drop down the Goblins to take care of it, but already did so much damage onto the Tornado, actually pushing the Infernal Dragon away from the left bottom tower. He wants to damage the max damage here. 400 left.
Just about manages to defend. It did look a bit hairy there for a second.
Comes and Mega Minion, Infernal Dragon.
This is back and forth right now. It's hard to tell who's going to take it. Like, Chasu is defending really well, but so is Ido. Like, both players are struggling here.
Ooh, he's using the lightning. 1 damage. Oh! Is enough to take the tower down. That was close because Ido, I'm pretty sure it was about the cycling that he will have some miners in his hand. It was close, but the lightning spell was the last card coming out. He was holding that in all this time until the very end. Nicely done from Chashu.
Oh, he's shaking. Chasu is like, he is feeling it. The nerves or the adrenaline are getting to him. His hands were shaking there. That was a very, very close game. Will that have taken too much out of him? He's got his hand on his head. Like, he doesn't look happy he's won, but...
He does not look happy throughout the series tonight.
I just wonder if there's something... Like, he's just not happy with his play right now.
We've got a fact for sure that whenever Simon predicts anything, it's always the other answer. Okay? We do have a full series. Once again.
You can make so much...
Who do you think is going to win this series, Simon?
Well, whoever wins, I lose,
It's
right?
50-50. Oh.
Whoever wins, I lose. I'm going to get it wrong.
Whoever wins, you win. Because we know the answer already if you pick one.
From the play right now, I'm going to say Ido is going to win. Chasu doesn't look very happy right now.
I think, if I go into Ido's head, maybe he was thinking because Chasu was bringing lots of golems, thought Inferno Dragon was enough to take it down because the laser over time does so much damage. Even more than Sparky if you let that Inferno Dragon
power
on
up
some towers. It's insane. If you have some rage spell drop down along with the Inferno.
We haven't seen a rage spell at all.
I like to use rage spells, but not at all and also not at all from lots of other regions, but sometimes very rarely. But the minute is up, and it is our final game 5. These players are ready for the last one. Seems like Ido has the confidence to go in, but Chashu does not look too happy all throughout this phase. Maybe the stress is kicking in, but let's go jump into game number 5, the last one of the series.
Bit of emotes.
Respect coming out from both players as it is tied with 2-2.
I only ever see those emotes when I'm being disrespected. Like, I'm losing really badly, the guy's just like, yaha! It hurts. Breaks my heart every time.
The only emote I do is good game. I like GG's barrel for the first time, but the tornado, does it not activate the king?
It didn't activate. Like,
and that's what he was looking for. It seems like he was not happy at the moment.
Chasu just doesn't seem like a happy person at all. Like, even when things are going his way, he's not smiling. He's still stressed at himself. Like, maybe he's looking for perfection and he's just not getting there.
Princess dropped down to do some damage. He wanted to draw out a unit onto the other side. Maybe he was just cycling his deck to get some other cards in his hand.
Goblin Gang again being split 3-2, perfect. Barrel of goblins, but what a log there. Predictive log, making sure to take out that barrel straight away.
Log, even when it's combined with tornado, does a decent amount of damage, and seems like Chashu is focused on lots of AoE. Is he going to use the golem once more? I wonder if he has another one of it.
Ido's playing that princess way more aggressively than we've seen before. Usually, like the other day, princess was used mainly at the back, taking out minion hordes, minions, and all that kind of stuff. Right now, he's trying to use it super offensively, and it doesn't seem to be doing too much damage.
So another log. The barrel does no damage, but this baby dragon will do some damage, and we are about even. And only a minute to go. There's the golem once more. What's the counter that Ido has? He has to use it now, and it is going to be Mega Knight.
I was going to say, the cards that he showed so far really do not counter the golem at all. Like, the princess will do nothing. There's the Inferno Dragon again. So he's putting out that Mega Knight to tank all the damage that Chasu will throw in there to try and take it out.
The lightning spell comes in very handy, doing so much damage. Now this golem is onto the tower, along with the baby dragon and the Night Witch. The Mega Knight comes just in time, but will that be enough for the defensive? Tower is going down.
It's going down really quickly, but luckily the Mega Minion is... Oh, it wasn't the Mega Minion. I didn't see what was taking the damage there. The Ice Golem, he just doesn't have it.
It's massive damage already done, down to 700.
It just seems like damage it's just done so quickly on Chasu's side.
Inferno Dragon will do max damage very soon onto the Golem. And this tornado may just be the end of
the ice
last
Golem there
game.
to try and push him out the
Golem,
way.
is he going to get... Does get a hit and the death damage. With these 2 left, I think the game is over now. And power goes down, and that's the end of the series as Chasu just using the Golem until the very end, having that guts to play Golem over and over again. And it has worked. He has won the series.
Yeah, the Golem play in the first game was very shaky. I believe Golem was in the first game. I know one of the games it was very, very shaky,
Yes.
but then after that, he seemed to have sorted it out. He knew how to attack with it. He knew how it would be, I don't know, it's just perfect play. That Golem connected too many times.
And even Inferno Dragon was dealt pretty well from Chasu because he had the Night Wizard. The bats were doing some damage onto the dragon. Even with that win, maybe he's... Oh, finally he brings out that smile on the camera. And that's how you feel after taking a long fight and you finally win with a 3-2.
Like, even after watching that game, I still thought Chasu lost. His face was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. I thought he lost. I got him mixed up with Ito. Ito was smiling at the end of the game. Chasu's just like, that was awful.
Well, that's gonna be it. Maybe he just thought, oh, this should have been a 3-0. I made some mistakes. I'm not too satisfied. But that's the kind of mindset that can actually get you into the semifinals, the finals, maybe even take the entire thing by yourself if you want to improve. Some of the players, they have those kind of mindset. And with that kind of mindset, that's how you improve every single time, every single game. Go up in ladder just like that.
Yeah, like even when you win, he's seeing things like, if I'd have done this, I'd have done better.
Take a look at the replay.
It's hard to tell which game because the decks were very similar the whole way through. Like, both players changed just a little bit of their moves.
Rocket. Mega Knight. Maybe this is the Sparky one.
I definitely hope so. I'd
Oh, the
love
barrel.
to see
I think this is game 5.
Yeah, this is game 5. When Chasu was, Ito was playing that princess far too aggressively.
And he's holding that rocket. I don't think he used the rocket even once. Though maybe he just never had the elixir to use that rocket. Maybe he just noticed how the rocket is just not being used in the hand and just not helping with the cycling of the deck.
Yeah, that baby dragon getting about 400 damage done to the tower. It proved to be just enough at the end of the game that, like, Ito was on the back foot from that moment. As soon as that baby dragon connected, he's on the back foot.
You can see
this is a great tornado coming here as well to pull the Inferno Dragon away from the Golem so he can get to the tower. And that was it. I don't understand why Ito played the Ice Golem.
maybe that was the only card that he was holding at the moment. The Mega Knight came in for the defense, but just not enough. The Golem just took out with the death damage. But that's going to be it for match number 2, as it was a 3-2. Seems like we're following day number 1, as day number 1 we had a 3-1, 3-2. And what's next?
What's the next game?
Another 3-2.
Another 3-2. You cannot script this, but this is not scripted.
And of course, and whatever Simon says, it is not Simon Says, guys.
Simon Says, touch your nose. All right.
I'm not listening to you, Simon.
You're no fun. Why aren't you playing the game?
Well, we are done with match number 2, but we will be back with match number 3 after this short commercial break. So guys, stay tuned, and we'll be back very soon with more Clash Royale action. Well, welcome back to Crown Championship Global Series Korea as we have match 3 coming in very soon. We saw all the players, what they want, what they like to play, what kind of style they want to run in Group B so far. But they will be going against each other once more as this is a round-robin format.
Yeah, so every player is going to play one more time. Expo is next up. He's 1 up. Ito is down 1-0.
That's right.
So how do you think it's going to go?
Well, of course. Well, we have to talk about this once more. Is Ito going to just ban out the Expo and just go with the flow, or I think that's a good strategy as we talked about before. Expo Master if he has the ban. But let's take a look at the player once more before.
사용하고 있는 양명고등학교 황신웅입니다. 제 재능을 세계에 알리고 싶어서 왔어요. 제가 나갔으면은 우리나라가 세계대회 가서 좀 더 좋은 성적을 거둘 수 있었을 텐데라는 생각을 많이 했어요. 이도소 태도님이요. 상관없을 것 같아요. 이미 준비한 수가 많기 때문에 상대방의 행동을 예측해서 정신이 오락가락하게 젊음의 피지컬을 이용해가지고 눌러드리겠습니다. 어리다고 무시하지 마세요. 큰 코 다칩니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 이도 소태도라는 아이디를 쓰는 박준석이라고 해요. 우리 저번에 합숙했잖아.
런던 가서 게임할 수 있도록 쓰는
아무것도 모르는 상태에서 왔는데 다 이겼잖아요. 그러니까 뭐 일단 놀러 온다는 마음이기 때문에 대석장님인가요? 어떤 덱을 쓰는지도 몰라요. 아니 안 물어봤는데 해보면 알겠죠 뭐. 그랜드 돌리면은 되게 랭커들 많이 만나거든요. 세계 67위, 뭐 세계 30위 할 때마다 이렇게 비등비등하게 하는 거 보니까 걱정 없어요. 스포티비는 가봤으니까 이번에 온게임넷을 한번 가봐야죠. 슈퍼세고 구간 가는 거고 그렇게 노는 거죠. 재밌게 놀다 갈게요. 화이팅!
That's Expo Master and Ito saying, "That's how I roll." It seems like he met lots of the ranked players even on ladder, even boot camping as we said before, but lost against Chashu in match number 2. And playing right after should be a ton of pressure for himself.
Well, you say pressure, but it might actually be more beneficial. Like, Expo's been sitting there twiddling his thumbs watching the games while Ito is going to be coming off all that game. Maybe he's like, all right, I lost the first series. Let's just keep going. I just want to get my games done. I want to finish today. I'm going to do it.
Well, in terms of highest trophy, Ito stands on top by close to 1,000 trophy, more than Expo Master. And I can't wait until we see the blind ban from both of these players. Expo banned Electro Wizard last time. Oh, look at that. I can tell, and you guys can tell from the drawing, we want Expo. So you see the small arrows on the top right? This flying.
It's good art. At least you can tell what it is, because if I was drawing, it would be awful.
My art is... I gotta say it's artistic, but oh! So the Expo will come out barrel ban, bandit ban.
Ito bans the barrel, Bandit is banned by Expo. Like, interesting choices. Like, why ban the Bandit? Like, we've seen quite a bit of Bandit.
I think it's because Bandit just goes into any kind of deck as a defensive tool, also as a pretty good offensive tool on the single target. So I think that's what Expo Master is looking for here with the Bandit ban.
But so far we've seen Bandit in quite a few games, and it never seems to have quite the impact that we expect from the card.
It's not really too tanky. It does not take too many hits, but once it can stop a target from coming in, once she gets the charge, it does some damage. A very good defensive tool to use. And it goes in a lot of the decks coming out from lots of other regions at the same time. So I think this is a tricky ban coming out from Expo Master. And Ito may has to just, you know, revise all his decks, to be honest, because if I was a player coming in, I would use lots of bandits, at least 3 out of my 5 decks prepared coming in.
Yeah, Bandit seemingly is a staple of most of the decks we've seen. But again, like, I feel like it is quite a replaceable card. You can easily replace the Bandit with other cards that just do very similar damage.
There are other and very many 3 elixir cards that does AoE damage, some slow, even I believe you can just commit Ice Wizard for the slow instead. There are lots of defensive tools with the 3 elixir, and they will have 3 minutes to build their decks after the blind bans.
Do you think it'd be much better to ban an elixir that has like less options? Like banning something that costs 2 elixir, for example, takes out possibly Bat's Golem. Doesn't leave you with many other options for that 2 mana slot.
From watching, both players have watched a match played already from the Zildjian stage, I think. And Ido was using lots of bandits. I believe game number 1, 3 and 4, I believe. If I, of course, just correct me if I'm wrong. But that, after watching all the cards, because you do not have too much time. 3 minutes when you're making a deck, it goes quickly. It just 3 minutes. That's the length of a time of a single match.
They might also be making more than one deck during this 3 minutes. They might be preparing for their 5 decks.
I see how quickly he's moving around his finger, just getting warmed up. I think we have less than a minute now to revise all the...
See Electro Wizard.
Yes,
I think I saw an Elixir Collector as well.
A lot less air units coming out from Ido this time. It seems like we didn't quite catch too many cards coming out from Expo Master. About 35 seconds left. What are some last minute adjustments you should do as a player just waiting for the match?
Honestly, I think when you get down to the last 30 seconds, you shouldn't change anything. Anything that you could have changed, that you should have changed, you should have already finished.
Yep, I feel like it's like the test. If there are ABCD, the first circle you make on that first circle you draw on that question is often the right one. If you try to erase it and change your answer, then you get it wrong.
It happens way too much. Like,
yes.
Your first answer is usually the good one. I used to go to like trivia quizzes, and we'd always write down the first answer, come back to the question. It's like, you know, I don't think it's right.
Yep, may not be right, but I think these players has to be right when they have to make the deck for this tournament. They had 3 minutes, and we are ready to jump into game number 1 between Expo Master and Ido. Let's go in.
So, game number 1 in this set. What are you thinking? What do you think is going to be the final result? What do you think it's going to be, a 3-0, 3-1?
I would like to see a one-sided game for once, or if not a 3-0, a 3-2.
Have you got another appointment for tonight? Like,
no, I do not. But there's a tombstone dropping in.
There's the Elixir Collector that we saw earlier. So oh, what a rocket!
Seemed like he had the rocket in his hand from the beginning, just waited for that perfect moment. Just traded 6 elixirs just like that. Of course, Ido on top with red, and Expo in the bottom with blue. There's the Hog Rider that Expo really used it well against Zebra in match number 1.
Didn't need the Expo in round 1. It doesn't look like he needs the Expo now. Out comes a Miner from Ido though, starting to deal some damage to that bottom left tower. Gets about 300 damage, just not bad damage for 3 elixir.
Got Log, Tombstone, Mega Minion, even using the perfect rocket. I think
Knight did so much damage on that bottom tower.
But he also has to be careful when he lands, when he's in the panic mode. Maybe he will also activate the King Tower from that rocket, so he has to be exactly perfect. Of course, it's not too hard, but when you're in the panic situation, it can be hard. There's another Hog Rider. This Goblin dropped.
Especially when you're in a studio in front of other people, in front of the cameras, under the lights. Making those mistakes will sometimes happen. Like, it's not bad on their part. It can just happen.
Miner coming from Ido now, and this tornado does activate the
King Tower. Big move there by Expo. Big move. Once again, another rocket coming out. However, the advantage. This game is still balanced. Like, nobody is really further ahead than the other.
Not much was too heavy, so I was wondering why does he have the Elixir Collector, but seems like he has the Three Musketeers, as that is one of his favorite cards to be played.
He does have plenty Elixir though, so he should be able to defend this pretty well. Great Tombstone.
Attacks coming in from the both sides. Miner doing tons of damage. Same with the Musketeer onto the other side.
The
left
Elixir
side
Collector is up for Ido though, which can actually, like we saw the other day, the Elixir Collector definitely puts you far ahead when you get into that overtime period.
That's the thing. Even Tornado is just not enough. And there's a Tornado to delay. Seems like Expo does not have the perfect card right now, just delaying time, and Miner comes in from the other side. Has to
Ice Spirit jumps on Ice Spirit. Good luck there defending it, but will that Minion Horde be able to take out this tower? We've seen Minion Horde do so much damage in previous games.
That was close, but not enough.
Perfect Tornado, just pulling them out of range of that tower.
And Three Musketeer dropped again. This can actually be the last push coming in, as both towers only have about 1,000 HP. Miner onto the right side, perfectly divided on the left and the right. Does Expo has enough defense right now?
It's hard to judge because Expo is being stretched really thin, whereas Ido is the one who is doing the stretching. He is in a very comfortable position right now.
He's using the Tornado to drag everything into one lane, so it'll be easier for him to use the rocket to take care of every single one.
There's Miner and the Ice Wizard to stop the damage. This is getting super close. There's the Hog Rider, but it's going to go straight into that Minion Horde. That was not a very good attack.
But even with the Tornado, was not enough, as this Minion Horde is now approaching a nut. This Musketeer is doing tons of damage every single time, split it into 2 lanes.
And it's just making it harder and harder to defend for Expo Master.
They get the left side, but
it's so close.
The final shot, this does not connect, but we'll finish off with a
10 HP after the
left. He just had to cycle for that last spell, and the Miner will do the damage, and that's going to be game going to Ido. Game number 1, just like that. What a strategy coming out, having the Three Musketeers split into 2 lane, and the one that has a single Musketeer going, using that Miner, so they split into 2-2. And Expo really had a pretty solid defense. He could have panicked at that moment, but over the time, it got some scratches onto the tower, and he's got the right one.
Ido was the one who got most of the damage done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Ido is the winner, but Expo threw away 2 to 3 Hog Riders straight into a Minion Horde, straight into the Goblins. Like, he saw the Minion Horde come down, yet he still puts that Hog Rider underneath it.
Yep, I think the biggest, I would say, the commitment here was the Elixir Collector was countered with the Rocket a few times in the beginning, but once Ido had lots of other units pushing in, Expo Master had to use the Rocket to you take down the unit instead of the Collector, and that's when Ido really started to get the value off of the Elixir Collector, because once the Rocket is gone, he couldn't really use the other spells to take care of that Collector, and Ido started getting so much value out of it, and starting from that moment on, got all the Musketeers down and threw in the Miner just like that. I think that was the moment really the snowball started to happen.
Yeah, we saw in day 1 that the Elixir Collector, when it comes down just before overtime, there is so much pressure on the field with the double Elixir that it's really hard to commit 6 Elixir to take it out straight away. So he's gonna get the value from it when it drops around that 30 seconds left period. It's a risky move because you can just be countered straight away, but it's worth it sometimes.
And he was positioning the Collector perfectly, so the Hog Rider doesn't even jump on, and the minute is up. We are ready for game 2. What kind of changes these 2 players will bring to game 2? Let's go in and find out together.
I'll tell you one change that should happen.
What?
Expo Master should have an Expo.
Yes.
I feel lied to. I was expecting some Expo shenanigans in this, and all I've seen so far is Hog Riders.
I think the youngest player in this tournament may be the one with the most psychological war here by having his IGN called Expo Master but never playing it.
Can you imagine, like in game 1, like he's never going to play the Expo. The Expo gets banned, he's just like, psych!
First Executioner.
There's that rocket again. But the Elixir Collector comes down and it's getting taken out. Maybe it's not worth putting down this early. Maybe they should be saving it for later on.
Well, we'll see, as I believe we're going to see very likely a Tornado also committing. Hog Rider.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Spirit to take it out. 1, 2. 2 hits there by the Hog Rider. Not a terrible investment.
But this Mini P.E.K.K.A. also does a lot of damage.
Good placement on the Knight to pull away the Mini P.E.K.K.A. away from the tower. You do not want Mini P.E.K.K.A. to touch your tower at all.
Yep, it's pretty quick, and compared to how small, or not so small, how small it looks compared to the P.E.K.K.A., it still does a lot of damage onto tower. Each hit can be very painful.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A.'s baby sister still deals quite a lot of damage. But that Mega Minion actually reaches the tower, and all that Expo does in return is drop a lot.
We'll see as both players are waiting for the next move. Ido actually also used the zap onto the tower just to cycle his deck.
So I think we'll start seeing the Elixir Collector come down more from Ido. Good rocket there. But we'll see that Expo Collector, the Elixir Collector, starting to come down around 30 seconds remaining. That's when you can get really good advantage of it.
And rocket use coming up down from Ido was perfectly done. Just having the Goblins to take hits while the Princess Tower can do the damage onto.
And there's that Elixir Collector. Great timing on that Elixir Collector because the pressure is starting to build up. He's going to get full value from this because if he commits a rocket to that, he's going to be down so far in Elixir.
Nice zap on the right to freeze all the units, stun all the units for a split second.
Another Executioner.
Well, we did not see any tornadoes. He's still holding in one more card. Expo is.
That Hog Rider deals decent amount of damage to that top left-hand tower.
Now there's
Ido is kind of on the back foot here.
That we've been talking about, but is that going to be enough damage for the defense as all the troops are charging in?
Ido's Golem, again, it's going to win him the game.
And that will be it.
Ido loves that Golem card. He used it all the way through the first set to win his games. He's doing it again in game number 2 here. That Golem, his Golem usage is really, really good, saving it right until the end to confuse his opponent.
Nicely done as Expo Master. Maybe it's about time to bring that card out, and you want to see some actions as the crowd also wants some Expo action coming out. He seems a little bit confused at the moment, as he did not have the best way to deal with the Golem just charging down the lane slowly, by step, just like that. Well used of the Elixir Collector was countered exactly the same, starting from just like game number 1. Similar to game number 2 though, once he did not have the rocket in his hand, he could not really use it. Had to use onto the unit once, and that's when the thing started to change once more. It was basically the same in game 2. I think that's maybe he has to bring some more spells, maybe a poison spell coming in.
I think leaving the Elixir Collector, like, it's around that 30 to 40 second mark. That Elixir Collector, the last Elixir Collector that came down in the double Elixir period again. And at that point of the game, you cannot commit 6 Elixir straight off the bat because the pressure is going to be coming in from anywhere. He's going to gain that 6 Elixir back so quickly.
And compared to Executioner, actually, compared to how small it looks, it costs 5 Elixirs. And he brought out the Tornado as a hidden card, I would say, because he was holding in for that Tornado for such a long time. The Executioner did some.
But Ido's Golem was the very last card he played, and it did way more for him.
And because Golem has so much hit points on the body, it's really hard to take it out with just the Tornado and the Executioner. if Expo Master does not have a good answer against this kind of strategy, it may be just a single-handed game. It is 2-0. And Edo is leading. This may be the end of the series or the start of a comeback from Expo. Let's get into game 3.
Well, this is not looking good for Expo Master. This could be the first sweep we have seen where it's 3-0.
As I predicted.
As you predicted.
As you didn't predict.
Didn't I say Edo would win?
But not a 3-0 though.
Yeah, but I still predicted one right. This is a miracle.
Oh, let's see. We do not know yet. As I he's taunting Expo. Do you have an answer against it? Seems like he's keeping the same exact strategy for now, but we do have to wait for a few other cards.
Yeah, I think we'll see that Elixir Collector not come out again for another 2 minutes. Like, he's going to drop him towards the end because he knows there is an answer for it. Ice Golem coming out with the Expo. Oh, what
Expo
mind games there by Edo, pulling out the Expo.
Master. Let's see, Hog Rider actually deals a pretty good damage and straight up to the Expo.
How would you feel if your name is Expo Master and your opponent in a game which could end the series right here pulls it out against you when he really doesn't need to?
Well, he does have the Hog Rider, and Hog Rider is one of the best cards to deal with the Expo, comparing the Elixir. If you just have Hog Rider, you can just get benefit, 2 Elixir benefit just like that.
Interesting choice to drop down that Elixir Collector around the 1:40 mark. Like, I'd have thought he'd have kept it in his hand, but maybe he's looking for the perfect cycle. Maybe he just needed to get rid of it. But it's an expensive card to drop like that.
Well, if you get the Elixir Collector, I think that's all you need. This one is not going to do direct damage to the towers.
But it is going to take out that Tombstone. And the Hog Rider is not going to even look at it, and it's going to get taken out by the Expo.
He intentionally dropped it on the right. He did not want the aggro to actually go into the X Tower.
So that is the defensive Expo Tower positioning, and that is, if anyone here is watching to take away some strategies from this, this is the ultimate defensive position.
Also, Expo was placed right in the middle because Edo wanted the Elixir to be on the back, so the rocket cannot do damage to both buildings at the same time. But both Expos placed on the ground now has to use the Hog Rider for the defense.
But it didn't actually do as much as it could have. The Ice Spirit was actually better against it, and the Ice Wizard is better against it than the Hog Rider was that time. There's the Hog Rider again. Beautiful place to put that Expo to make sure that it grabs all the aggro so the Mega Minion can deal as much damage as possible.
See, this game is pretty even, as you can see.
Committing that rocket to the tower and not the Elixir Collector. Coming down to this point, this is where he keeps going wrong, I think.
Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe that was intended. Maybe he was looking for another units to be dropped down as a prediction.
But this is going to give Edo so much tempo coming into this overtime period.
Even hitting some damage with the Electro Wizard to stop the Hog Rider from coming.
That Steamroller is coming in.
Expo's plays so quickly because he's getting that full value off of the Elixir. Edo is shaking, just nodding his head at right now. It seems like he's got this game.
I can't see, like, Edo is steamrolling ahead here because of that Elixir Collector, dropping down the Expo. I think he wants to finish it with the Expo.
Direct damage to the tower. Rocket does take a lot of it out, but this Mega Minion will do some damage. Not to the tower, though, as Ice Wizard comes down from Expo.
Good Ice Wizard placement there to make sure that it freezes almost instantly so it doesn't get any closer towards that tower. Any more damage done to that bottom tower, it will be game over.
See another defensive Expo positioning, but after this, Hog Rider jumps over the river to do direct damage onto the Expo, but it's not enough.
This is some good defensive positioning. Again, exactly the same spot as before, taking out that Tombstone. The Mega Minion drops, but there is so much offensive potential here from Edo. He should be taking this relatively soon.
Nice tornado usage to draw all the units into the tornado so he can get all the attack onto the Expo, because that has been the big trouble for Expo Master.
This game is back and forth right now. Like, Ito has the advantage. He should be able to close it out, but he cannot seem to be able to do it here.
I think he's waiting for the perfect chance to have some space for the Elixir Collector to be dropped, and I'm pretty sure Expo Master is holding into that rocket spell.
I don't think Expo Master is going to give him the time to drop that Elixir
But
Collector.
this one's a huge push coming out from Master. Electro Wizard dropped down.
So many logs just taking out every push that's coming along. We have 40 seconds here.
But 96 only. This will... Even one log will just finish the game for Ito. Does he have the perfect card to finish the game? And it seems like he's off the device already. And that will be it with the log just finishing with scratches after scratches. That was a long, long game number 3. But that's a 3-0. As G. Clef's predicted.
You can predict all you want, Clef. But did you expect this game to go down to the last 30 seconds of 3-minute overtime?
No, not at all. And Ito had the mind game going on in that final game. I think he was ready to also drop down the Elixir Collector. Do I really want this game to go longer, or do I want to drop down all the units and finish as quick as possible, because this is becoming a long game for sure.
Well, maybe if he dropped that Elixir Collector, maybe if he had the confidence to put it down, he would have been in a better position, because he would have got further and further ahead. When you're ahead, get further ahead.
Of course.
And without dropping that Elixir Collector, he's not putting himself in an even better position. He's just happy with where he was going. He's like, all right, I got to push here. This will finish it. And that could have been it.
Yep, that was not a quick 3-0 for sure, because that game number 3 was going in for a long time, and we will see the result very soon. But having that kind of power, that kind of strategy, having Expo against Expo Master, I guess that proves that maybe he is not a master?
I think it was pure mind games there from Ito. Like, it was the last game. He has 3 games to play around in. I think he just did it just to rub the salt in there.
We'll see. This was the first 3-0 we had in Korea. And we did not have a single 3-0 in Group A yet. This is the first 3-0.
Look at that. Oh, he's all smiles.
It's like, oh, my bootcamp time. It was worth it. I did drop a match against the stronger opponent, but I did it, and I'll be going home happy because I lost one but I brought one, and this is a double round robin format, so you can always make a great comeback in the standings in your group.
You can also get revenge on everyone. Like, no matter if you like Hemosu on the day 1, he can come back, get revenge on absolutely everyone. Just slaughter.
Of course, he lost 2 already, but he has 4 more matches left. And if you can win all 4, then you will be on top. If you just have to be top 2 out of the 4 to actually advance into the decider match and later on the semifinals. So if you just take few points, even if you just tie, I think that's also a good solution. Let's see, this is a replay of game number 3, not game number 3, match number 3. Let's see if it's game number 3 though.
Yeah, this is game number 3. It starts off with the Ultra Split into Ice Spirit, straight into the Elixir Collector. Testing to make sure I think the Rocket's in there, because you can then place your stuff. Dropping the Expo, I think that is purely just rubbing salt in the wounds.
Just dropping the Expo, letting the opponent know that, hey, I have an Expo here, and also an Elixir Collector. Which one are you going to use the Rocket on? The mind game was real coming down from Ito, and Expo Master could not really deal against the Elixir Collector. That was basically the end of the story for this series.
There's just so much going on here. Like, the Elixir Collector's coming
And this one missed. I think this was the biggest one. And Ito started to really push in right after this. As you can see, the Elixir Collector got maximum value. Max value.
It's just too much.
That's why he was able to do so much damage onto the bottom left tower. And a few more logs and a few more scratches onto the tower basically got it down to... It took a long time, but once you had the momentum going, see this log doing extra damage once more.
Just everything is going on and just slowly tickling that bottom tower with the logs. Like, I might not be able to finish it with a straight up offensive, but I'm just going to keep dropping logs on your tower.
That and the Electro Wizard came in super handy for the defense. I think he could have lost the momentum right there when he had the Expo coming in the middle. The Electro Wizard stopped, delayed for a long time. And basically he took down the bottom left tower with like 5 logs at one after each other. He knew that if he had that going on, he was going to win.
So putting both players now 1 apiece. 1 win, 1 loss each. It's going to be fun going forward into next week.
Yep, and it will be the end of Expo Master and Edo for today. But we have another match coming up right after. It will be Zebra against Charshu. So hold on to not go anywhere. We'll be back very soon. Welcome back to Global Series Korea Crown Championship. And we have Zebra Chashu for match number 4. The last one for tonight. And of course Zebra does not have a win, but Chashu actually took a win in match number 2. So this is pretty much the same one as a similar one, you would say, just like match number 3.
Yeah, so we've seen one player with 0-1, one player with 1-0. Do you think we will get another 3-0?
That's the story for tonight, I think. We had the first 3-0 happening in match number 3. Expo Master was destroyed with an Expo.
I don't think the Expo was the key part of that deck.
I think it was a good way of using the Expo because I think Expo Master's strategy was to use the Hug Rider just like in his previous match. Well, match number 1 to actually do damage onto the tower, but oftentimes it was aggroed and it went towards the Expo onto the other side. But let's take a look at the players.
가장 최연장자로 8강에 합류하게 됐는데 와이프가 눈치를 주는데 와이프한테 마지막 대회라고 말을 하고 집 화장실을 이용하거나 와이프 자는 시간에 애기 재우고 모든 집안일을 끝낸 후에 하고 있어요. 차슈더밥 선수는 제일 어려운 것 같아요. 서로 플레이 스타일을 너무 잘 알고 있어서 가장 어려운 상대일 것 같습니다. 제가 원래 무덤 카드로 한국에서 여러 덱을 만들어서 조금 유명했는데 사실은 인지도가 좀 있어가지고 아는 사람들은 또 다 알아서 원래 저와 하면 이렇게 떠오르는 이미지가 있는데 상대방이 좀 예상을 깨는 덱을 구성해서 전략을 짤 계획입니다. 나이가 좀 있어도 충분히 좋은 성적 낼 수 있다는 걸 보여주겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 차슈더밥 닉네임을 사용하고 있는 장봉석입니다. 지브라님은 저랑 같은 클랜 소속인데 정말 엄청 잘하셔가지고 가장 어려운 선수라고 생각하고 있고 조 2위 토너먼트에서 붙었는데 제가 졌거든요. 무덤을 엄청 잘 써요. 무덤이 지금 너프돼가지고 그렇게 좋은 카드가 아니거든요. 근데 지브라님이 하시는 거 보면은 아직도 좋은 카드 같아요. 제가 학교 갈 때 시간이 꽤 길거든요. 그때 특히 열심히 하고 있어요. 다 연습으로 극복이 가능하다고 생각해요. 지브라 형님, 이번에는 제가 이기겠습니다.
차슈더밥 선수는 제일 어려운 것 같아요.
지브라님은 가장 어려운 선수라고 생각하고 있고
We have 2 players, Zebra on the left and Chashu on the right. As you had the oldest player, Zebra here, he's even practicing secretly when his wife is sleeping.
Clearly his wife isn't looking at his credit card balance.
Oh, well, if he... well, you can spend time and grind on Clash Royale.
I mean, yeah, but he's got to be hiding gameplay from your wife being in a top clan with Chasu. These 2 are clan mates.
Yep, and he's been known to play his graveyard deck, and which he used
I can
many
see
times.
Chasu banning it, actually.
He did use many times, and look at the highest. I think this guy has the highest trophy in Group B.
Yeah, he does.
And also, the big story here is that Chashu already lost against Zebra and in the qualifying rounds. And Chashu said with his mouth that even after the nerf, Graveyard got the nerf, but when Zebra uses it, it seems like there was no nerf to it. That's how strong, that's how well Zebra can use that card. But it may continue once more, and Zebra takes the series, or Chashu, after knowing all the strategy, maybe he has brought the answer for himself.
But I don't think Zebra used it particularly well in his first match today. Like, it didn't look as effective as Chasu is saying here. So maybe he'll ban it, maybe he'll let it through, because it didn't seem particularly effective earlier on when he dropped to... Who did he lose to?
Expo Master.
Oh,
I
Expo
believe.
Master. So
And
yeah.
Chashu did watch all the games happening in match 1 in the background. Let's take a look at ban card.
Ooh, Poison banned by Chasu.
Basically, this is actually a crazy ban coming out. I was expecting a Poison Spell to be banned because Zebra was going to play Graveyard instead. And the Poison Spell is already banned out. Seems like he wants to actually let him play. It seems like this is the bait.
I disagree. I think by banning Poison here, he is getting rid of Graveyard as well, because he can't offer that amazing protection.
That's also true.
That he was offering in the first round. Like, we often see Graveyard and Poison together so that your little skeletons are protected. So by banning Poison here, he's banned both.
I think this actually forces some air units to be used. It could have been used, and one way to deal with the Graveyard was Mega Minion coming out from Expo in match number 1 that did a lot of the job. Sometimes even Mini Dragon did the job. I think Chashu bringing some air units in his hands, maybe just bats, can be enough to take care of the Graveyard. It will do some scratches onto the tower if you're just trying to defend it with the bats. I think we'll see some air units for defense for sure coming out from Chashu, and in that case, Zebra can use that as your tool to take the favor just like that.
Yeah, well, Zebra clearly doesn't like super heavy decks, because once again, he has banned out that Elixir Collector. So these two clearly know each other's game plan. They're clanmates, they probably 2v2 with each other, they probably friendly battle and scrim with each other, so they know exactly how each other's going to play. Maybe Zebra is like, okay, Chasu always beats me with the Elixir Collector.
We see
This
some
time I'll ban it out.
Some miners on the left, and lots of air units.
Yeah, good call on the air units. That Lava Hound, he used that before, right? The Lava Hound minions. What else was he using in that deck? All the air units, the balloon as well. The Lava Hound balloon deck.
I think he's
such a good.
Yeah, I think Chashu is keeping a similar deck. He has brought the win for himself with those lava balloons on his deck. Maybe he will try to do that once more against, which seems like lots of Graveyard deck coming, but from what we just saw, I don't think we saw too many Graveyard cards from Zebra.
Yeah, I don't think he's going... Well, he's definitely not going to be playing it this time, right? I think without the Poison, Graveyard is not that effective anymore. So he's probably dropping Graveyard out of every deck.
We'll see. That's the mind trick that's the psychological war that we're going to have between these players as they are forming their deck. Still 44 seconds left for them to build all their decks.
Have you ever played in a tournament where you've had to play against your best friend or someone you actually know really, really well?
Yes, I used to play lots of FPS in tournaments, and I knew lots of the time the opponents used to be in my clan, so I knew them, what they do, how they do, and they also knew me at the same time, so it was a different situation. I oftentimes when that happened, I had to intentionally change my playstyle because they know so much about me. I think in this case it is very similar here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine them doing the same thing they do in maybe clan tournaments if they have them, or just clan matches. They should probably bring it here.
3 minute is up, and soon we will be jumping into game number 1 with Elixir Collector banned from Zebra and Poison Spell banned from Chashu. Let's jump into game number 1.
Chasu once again looks super serious at the beginning of this match and starts straight away with that Goblin Barrel, and Zebra just blows it up.
The fireball.
It's not very often you see Fireball, even though it is a great for
oftentimes a zap is just enough, but it seems like that was the only spell card on his hand possibly, and dropping down the Inferno Dragon, forcing some units to be dropped onto the other side, on the left side.
That's gonna connect with the tower. Oh, so the Inferno Dragon connects with the other Inferno Dragon. Interesting choice.
Inferno Dragon from both sides. But that's not the only tool coming out from Chad. Oh, actually a very, very similar deck. Mega Knight from both sides. This is basically a same deck.
Oh, there's Princess instead of the Electro Wizard, I guess.
They jumped on each other at the same time. They just crossed on each other.
Maybe they were trying to hug each other mid-air, like, give me a hug!
You're supposed to bump into each other, but how this game goes, of course. Let's just pass that through. Bandit used all 10 cards already used from Zebra. Seems like he is just shuffling around at the moment.
I was just thinking, like, oh, that's a banned card, but that was last game. Goblin Barrel again. Good positioning with when they split into that 3. It's actually really helpful.
Yep, it's not the hardest thing, but sometimes you intentionally want to have it on one side instead. You have some attack going. Here comes the Miner. I think the game deciding tool will be the Miner for Zebra, and for Chashi it will be the Barrel.
The Miner Electro Wizard there doing so much damage, like 800. If this goes back to the chip style of gameplay that we saw in day 1 instead of the overwhelming push that we've seen so far today, that Miner damage will probably decide the game.
Let's see, the Barrel comes in once more as Zebra just waiting for that moment.
Perfect Electro Wizard again.
Electro Wizard. But that's not the only tool. He also has a Miner available. We'll go dive right in, even using Fireball.
I'm not sure about this kind, like, he's splitting the damage, but he has such an advantage.
That's what we see every day when we have both Mega going against each other. But there's a Barrel now. It's gonna do the damage if he does not have the zap.
He doesn't have anything.
He does not have the zap, and he did some damage to the tower, down to 1378 now.
But that Princess is gonna single-handedly finish this push. Inferno Dragon coming out as well. The Miner doing more damage to that top right-hand tower. But good Goblin Gang with the Inferno, with the Barrel.
The zap was just used right before to delay all the units coming out.
I think it was Electro Wizard that time, right? It's hard to tell which one's which because it's the same. It looks so similar.
Inferno Dragon actually did some damage onto the tower. This Barrel may just be enough. That was just
He does have enough to defeat it, though. He does have a lot of elixir here.
380, I think, with the rocket. That will be game. That was the last card that he was holding in for such a long time. And that's it. Game 1 going to Chashu.
This time he looks a little bit oh, no. I thought he looked a little bit happier after winning this time.
I think he's trying to keep his poker face, you know? He's not to smile until the moment you actually win the entire match.
Maybe he's praying to the heart of the cards.
The heart of the cards. I know what you're referencing to. But no Yu-Gi-Oh here, as we have thousands of coins. Not to mention, guys, we have about 3,000 plus coins used for that. For those chests. And okay, moving on.
You just had to drop that fact in.
Yes, because I need more coins. I need coins to upgrade all my units right now.
All right, so we go into the 1 minute deck change. Do you think we'll see any big changes here?
I think Zebra needs to bring in a few more defensive tools along, not just the Miner. Miner did some damage, but he also used the Fireball offensively to predict the unit coming down to take. That was initially going to be the counter to the Miner, which did some work, but not too much. And right after that, when he used all his elixir, because Fireball cost a lot, 4 elixir cost, then you do not have the unit for some time, and that's exactly the time where Chasu pressed in with the elixir advantage.
I think we're going to see Chasu bring out the Laloon again. The lava hound and the balloon again.
I think it's about time. That's a good swing, I would say.
Yeah, he did really well with it in the second game of his last one, I think. Yeah, he did really well with it before. I can see it coming out again.
And he was the one that used a lot of golem cards. Maybe we'll see a few more of his previous favorite cards coming in to match, as he is leading at the moment with 1-0. Let's go into game 2.
So here we are. It's going to start much slower than the last time. Last time we saw that Goblin Barrel straight away. This time he's waiting until he gets to that 10 mana mark.
Okay, Tombstone.
Tombstone and Ice Golem again. Ice Golem has been a very, very popular pick.
Ice Golem, of course, is very slow, but you can buy a lot of time. And having some other, especially the ranged ones, right behind the Ice Golem.
Chasu dropping the Lava Hound. I think we are going to see the Lava Hound balloon again.
Ooh, let's see.
Good lightning there. And dropping the Mega Minion behind his Lava Hound. This should connect and deal quite some damage. Drops the Mega Knight there. I think that was a mistake. He doesn't look happy that he dropped it.
Not just the mistake. I think he did not have the perfect card to counter that attack at the moment. The arrow now comes in hand. I think he used it right after it came into his hand. Because if he had it, I think he should have used it before.
But even if he had the Mega Knight, if he was planning to play that down, he should have played it down earlier to try and get the Mega Minion to not be as close to the tower as it was.
Well, we'll see. I think Zebra does not have the best counter right now. Another Lava Hound comes. Maybe it's time for his...
Summons the Dark Witch on the opposite lane with the Graveyard.
Okay, he was holding in the Graveyard. This is exactly brilliant coming out. He's attacking the other lane, doing so much damage. Down to 1,500 already, instantly.
Chasu was not lying when he said that Zebra makes the Graveyard look amazing. But the Lava Hound getting so much damage on that bottom right-hand tower. And there's still more damage to come from it too. What can he do? He doesn't have many things that shoot up and do a lot of damage.
Too much damage, but it takes, if you leave it alone, though, it did more than 300 damage already. And that may be enough, but he's going for the attack again, once again with the Witch.
Oh, it's gonna take it
up, and he does take it with the Graveyard along with the Witch. The arrow came in perfectly as an offensive tool, but can he defend his own? I think there's still 30 seconds left for Chasu to make the counter.
I think Chasu needs to start dealing some damage onto that bottom left-hand tower, because that's the way it's got to be. Like,
nice defense with the arrow. Seems like we will see a trade with 1-1. And this game will continue.
Zebra's missing cards that shoot up. He only has the Electro Wizard.
Though not too many counters against the air, so instead he's oftentimes choosing to go with an attack here.
He kind of has to. He doesn't
now
have much.
The balloon comes in. This will be now.
Great
Zebra
timing.
has to come in for the defense instead of offensive tools here, but he does not have too many air.
Keeps slowing down that balloon. Is it going to drop?
One. That's
two.
not going to be enough.
This is it.
I think that will be game over. With the zap also, and that's the death. And with the bomb exploding, we have a 2-0 already.
That was a hard counter there. Chasu just brought in the air, and Zebra only had Electro Wizard that shoots up. He had nothing else that could deal air damage apart from the bats from
the
Night Witch.
Well, that was not. That was a hard counter, and knowing that Zebra often uses the Graveyard deck, Chasu really brought in the maximum output that he can actually have against the Graveyard. Having that Poison Spell banned, I think he's making the right strategy, the right cards to play against him, and Graveyard I think has to be put out for the rest of game, or he will be losing the series, as we are getting close to game number 3, and just possibly the end of the series.
Possibly the end of the night.
Yeah, that's also true, but they will have a minute. And Zebra is thinking right now, at the moment, what else other than Graveyard do I have? That actually worked quite well when he was trying to take down the left top tower with abundance of units just attacking at the same time. Did like 1,000 damage in a split second. And did take the tower down at over the time, but was just not enough to defend a stronger attack coming out from Chashu.
Well, tonight has been a very, very burst-heavy kind of night. We've seen games go almost to the last 30 seconds before we see damage, and then the game is over by 10 seconds left. The towers just melt tonight. I feel like if Zebra was in Group A, where there was a lot more chip damage, a lot more back and forth, I think Zebra would have performed slightly better than he is performing tonight.
But we will see as the time is out. Time has run out, and we are getting ready to jump into game number 3. We see a lot more air units coming out from Chashu or the Graveyard. Is it going to stay for Zebra? I think some changes are needed for both players. Let's get into game 3.
So we already know that Zebra's wife is not particularly happy that he's here. Do you think if he goes 0-2, he'll be back next time? Maybe his wife will be like, no!
Maybe his wife will come to the venue and watch it.
Oh,
let's
like
see
a
how
lucky
well
talisman.
you play. I know you've been secretly playing in your bathroom.
Maybe if you change the tear to a toilet.
You think your wife doesn't know, but they always know everything. There's a tornado to draw the miner off of your tower, and you know what I'm talking about, Simon.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Here's
I'm
a
sitting
Hulk.
here
He
like,
wants to trade all the air units, but the balloon is coming though. Executioner will not
again.
be enough.
So it's gonna connect one hit and the final bomb, but the lingering bomb does so much damage there. Doesn't actually connect with the Executioner, but he didn't really need to.
The bomb actually did some damage, not enough to take down the Executioner. As Executioner Tornado will be a big defensive tool, and also to draw the balloon out from the range where it can attack the tower. It's a very good spell, but whenever he uses it to defend it against the miner, that's the thing. He does not have the perfect cycle to use it against the balloon. I think that timing will come in this game.
Hopefully. I think Zebra really needs that timing to come out.
Zebra focusing onto the Hog Rider to do some damage one hit by one hit.
There's a P.E.K.K.A. This deck is similar to, I think it was game 2 of Zebra's first set.
But the balloon is here. That's the thing. We'll see the same thing over.
Again, there's not much anti-air here for Zebra.
And that's a tower for sure. I think with
just not enough,
just not
but
enough.
It's still so much of an advantage for him. This is looking like the second 0-3 of the night.
I thought he had a split second for a balloon to do extra damage, but not enough. Here comes the Mega Knight once more to delay the Hog Rider. Hog Rider does so much less damage compared to the balloon, and it seems like Zebra still lacks the anti-air defense.
It's weird that he's gone from having... He lost the last game because he didn't have enough anti-air.
He was waiting for this moment.
I think it's too late to activate this King Tower. Like, he only has 196 left.
Well, with the P.E.K.K.A. with another Hog Rider, let's see if that's enough. Oh, so much air units come down. And Hog Rider just melted right there.
Dropping the Hog Rider underneath a minion, like minion horde, it just doesn't seem it's not effective. I was going to say it doesn't seem effective, it just isn't effective.
We'll see if with another miner plus a zap from Chashu will just...
That Ice Golem started the conga line across the across the river here.
They used to delay some time, but once another balloon and possibly even a miner coming down, I think he wants to finish the game here.
Oh,
4 HP left! And zap to finish the game just like that. Another 3-0 series.
I thought it was going to be left there. I didn't
he had the
remember the zap
available, and
Chasu goes 3-0 and still looks disappointed. What can make that man happy?
I don't know. Maybe getting the first place from Korea can make him happy. We'll see. As he took 3 wins, 3-2 and a 3-0, standing on top of Group B for now.
So even being top of Group B, he still looks like he's about to cry. Like, what? Seriously, he looks so disappointed that he's won tonight.
I think he has lots of heavy decks. Tried to use golems in match 2 lots of times, and tried to use lots of lava to have a very tanky unit to go for the front, and then he would use something like a balloon or a tornado, some other things that can actually do massive damage onto the tower. And that strategy work. He can stick with the same one, and he got 2 wins already in this group. I think he's off to the best start of the group for sure.
Yeah, I think Zebra is off to a really, really bad start. And he saw in Chasu's first game that there was very air heavy, yet doesn't pack much anti-air.
I think that was the biggest problem, if you had to call that a problem. He did not really have too much anti-air from game. Even all the way through game 3, he has not really made the perfect adjustments to go against Chasu tonight for sure, as that was a quick 3-0 coming out. And he will be very disappointed, and if his wife finds out, I don't think she will be happy either.
I can guarantee she won't be happy. He's probably going to go home to an earful tonight.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he needs a little more bathroom time alone. I think he has to... Oh, well, watch the replay.
Maybe we need to change his chair to a toilet and make him feel more at home here in the OGN studio.
I think this is game 3.
But this is the final game, yeah.
With the Executioner.
Like, the Executioner is good against the light anti-air, but it's just not enough against the heavy.
Doing tons of damage, and Balloon was used only once, well, maybe twice at the very end. Yeah, this is the second time, and later on it was not used. Maybe just not cycled onto the very end.
But it just did enough damage, even just what it did, even not summoning it again, it did enough damage to allow the Miner to finish it up.
And by this point, he brought the Miner into the King Tower, but as you mentioned during the game, that it was just way too late. Oftentimes he was using the Miner perfectly positioned, so the Tornado would not activate the King Tower.
If he'd have done that earlier on in the game, I think we may have seen a different result. He would have had more damage to deal with the air, with the King Tower shooting at the balloon, shooting at the bats.
This was a big push coming from Zebra, but the
Ice Golem conga line
play was brilliant, I have to say. And I think with the P.E.K.K.A on the left tower, with the Executioner, could have done massive damage and turned the game around, but that's the style and that's the skill you would see from Clash Royale, how to draw a unit off of the lane there. And perfectly done by Chasu, and I think he deserved to win the series, just like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that defensive play of dragging everything all the way across, it's not even a little bit across the river, it was the whole length of the river. Like, it's not very often you get to see that kind of stuff.
And when you have a slow unit like a P.E.K.K.A just following another unit for that entire time, I think Zebra knew that he was going to lose that game at that moment when the Ice Queen came down onto the other side. But here's the result after day 2. Exactly same in Group A and Group B. Yungela standing on top of Group A and Chasu on Group
B. We got Ido and Expo Master making up 2 and 3, and then we have Zebra in last place for Group B.
Yep, that's right. And we have 2+6, 2+3s, and 0 Hamasu, and Zebra still has lots more matches coming up. So let's see. Wow, this is a hectic one for sure. Group A will have double round robin, so they will all get to play each other twice. First one, match number 1, Hamasu versus Yungela. And this time we do not have the YouTuber match for the next matches coming up, but we'll have another set of matches for Group A once more.
Yeah, so we have June not playing Youngula this time,
Mm-hmm.
but still super, super excited to see June play again.
It seemed like we had some differences in Group A and Group B. Group A, we used saw lots of lighter decks. Group B, we saw lots of heavier decks with a lot less Elixir Collector for sure.
Yeah, Elixir Collector, MVP day one. What would you say would be MVP today?
Well, Expo Master not using Expo at all. I think that's one of the...
How is that an MVP? That's like the reverse MVP.
Well, I think it's a good strategy. He did not take 2 wins tonight, of course. He has 1-0, but I think that was enough. That concludes day number 2 for us, though. And I think we are about to close as we hear the music in our ears. That's it for day number 2, and we will be back with more Clash Royale action in day number 3.